Mark. Ahoy there, sailors! Commodore Blade here once more with, well, the Warships beta. This time we're going to be looking at the Tier 5 premium for the Russian Navy, the Gremyashi destroyer. It actually should be the Gnevny destroyer, but we're going to use Gremyashi for this. So, a little bit of history before we dive into its stats. The Gremyashi, as you meant to say, I believe, were a group of destroyers that were planned to be built during the second part of the 5-year plan, between 1935 and 1942, when the Soviets believed they were ready for a fleet wanting to be built. 36 of this ship were planned, of which 30 were built. The other 6 were cancelled as flaws in the design originating from machinery and general seaworthiness became evident. Officially designated Project 7, the ships were a rare example of Soviet and Italian cooperation, Italy being fascist at this period, during this period. Then there's the anti-Comintern Pact to take into account. The ships resemble what you'd find in the Mediterranean around the fleets of Italy, Greece and Turkey. So this is generally what you'd see around the Med. The named ship, the Gnevny, was completed 31st of January 1939. Serving as part of the Baltic Fleet, it was sunk during Operation Barbarossa, June 23rd, 1941, when it was hit by mines. Of the 30 that started the war, the Great Patriotic War, or World War II, whichever way you want to look at it, 8 were sunk during it. The Sterigushi was salvaged in 1944 and was returned and sailing once more in 1948. And the Shremchi, forgive my pronunciation of that, was re-raised in 1942 partially. However, it was cannibalized for parts to repair the struggling Gremyashi. I'm sorry I can't pronounce these Russian names right. 4 of the surviving ships were sent to the People's Liberation Army Navy, the Communist Chinese Navy, during the Chinese Civil War. What was left were either scrapped or used during atomic testing, but the ship class itself served until 1990. This is one of the longest serving ship classes in history. During the initial production, when the design flaws became evident, a modified design was put into place. This was known as the Type 7U at the time, but we now know it as the Sobrazitsny class. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. These are Russian names. Russian isn't a language I know. But that's the history of the ship. So, what do we get for our money when we buy it? Well, first off, destroyer. You get what you expect for destroyers, low survivability. Combat capability is equivalent to the Sims, and its armor is equal as well. This is low armor, low health for ships. What's more, moving on to the guns, we have 4 sets of 130mm 13B13 guns. These can fire. This one can fire front and back, obviously. One behind it, so you got 2 guns facing forward, and the same is repeated at the back. Generally speaking, you can have 2 guns firing forward and 2 guns firing backwards, which is decent. So you've at least got 2 guns that can fire. Obviously, the best way you're going to fire is to do the broadside. Torpedoes, however, we have 2 sets of triple tube 533mm 39U torpedoes. Stats for these aren't too bad, decent amount of damage, and there's a decent reload time to them, 69 seconds. Torpedo speed is kind of as slow, like the American, but it has a decent range to it. I just want you to bear in mind that this has a range of 11.9, whereas the torpedoes have a range of 8. That is very respectable for torpedoes and guns themselves. This is kind of a midpoint between the Japanese and the Americans. Moving on, we have anti-air guns. Yes, a destroyer actually has anti-air guns, but these aren't the main guns. We have 2 12.7mm DSHKs. There's one here. Its sister is the opposite side, over here. We have 2 Colt 12.7mm double barrel MGs. One is here. Its sister is opposite. We have 4 37mm 70K machine guns. One is here. I guess you call them flak, really. One's here. One is here, and its sister is on the other side. Here. We also have 2 76mm 34Ks. One is here, and its sister is directly opposite. Here. These all have a respectable range, 0.9 and 2 kilometers. So generally speaking, 2 kilometers you're getting your most powerful weapons, then you get the self-defense from the smaller guns. Maneuverability. This is probably the more manoeuvrable of the 3 pre-order ships. 38 knots is very good to destroy as a tier 5, and 630 meter turning circle is very, very good. And a rudder shift time of 3.5 seconds is exactly what you expect from a destroyer. The Sims, which is a tier up I believe, yeah, actually 2 tiers up, has the exact same rudder shift time. This is very good for what you expect for destroyers. Its concealment is what you really want to be playing to though. It can be service flexibility range is 7 kilometers, 1 kilometer less than your torpedo range, and 3 kilometers less, at least, than your guns. Play to that. Use your range to get your guns and your torpedoes to bear. Airlift disability range is 3.6 kilometers. You cannot hit it before air power detects you, which is kind of a shame, but then again, this has to be balanced somehow. This is a very nimble ship. People have likened this to a quick and deadly design. You can get into combat, you also get out. The guns are reasonably powerful, with about 1,000 max damage from your main battery and 2,800 max damage from your AP. And also, chance of setting on fire is also very high as well. As for our torpedoes, well, we know what they're like. If I can ever click it, then go. Here's a torpedo. A lot of damage and very good turn time. So that's what we get. But is it any good? Well, I think we actually do want to jump into combat for that. So here we are in a tier 5 game in the Gremyashi, and I'm gonna say now, this is probably the best game I got. I can't seem to do well in this thing, as much as I should really enjoy. As much as I enjoy playing it, it's not my type of ship, which is kind of disappointing because it's a really good ship. Anyway, so this is standard battle on New Dawn, and I am currently sailing around, which is not a good sign. So they have a battle cruiser, and we've both got 2 carriers each. No, sorry, they've got 2 carriers. We've got a carrier. They honestly have more than us, and I'm paranoid at this point. I'm there searching around like, well, what have we got? And because a lot of the stuff doesn't load in, that's weird. I can see it and it's not there. It looks like I'm working with an Omaha and a Clemson, which should be fun. It's a really beautiful game. It's a really beautiful place. Sits around paranoid. The thing is, I keep looking around because I have 7 kilometers rather, before I get found. The enemy have 8 if I'm lucky. So I have to. So not 8. They have less than me. Sorry. I have to try and find their destroyers before they find me. And slowing down to let this guy take the lead because he's actually got a better concealability than I do. Now, while you're watching this, people, I want you to pay attention to the map. Have you noticed something yet? Yeah. We're all going to the south. It's almost learning terrain. All the enemies are up north, and we are all down here. Which is kind of interesting. I mean, our carriers aren't exactly having a good day. And yes, I panicked because I was worried about torpedoes. I was worried about getting found. There we go. So cruiser. It's got supporting air power. That looks like the. Can't really show what class that was. Second. Yeah, I've got a cruiser assisting us, and I'm doing death. I'm desperately trying to get around, trying to get a good space, and yeah. And then what do I do? I can't lead targets worth. And I get hit. Oh, that's even more surprising. So, this shit is not a bad ship. It's a nice balance between the Americans and the Japanese. It's got good range on its gun, it's got good range on its torpedoes, but it's not either powerful nor fast torpedoes, neither powerful nor really accurate guns. And as you can see, I can't lead worth jack. Good news is I'm really there. We go. After it is to auction system, but then this is where I take a risky shot and it goes wrong. Good news is, I sunk someone.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
I think it's at this point where I'm trying to figure out a target. It's like, yeah, let's take a shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? And then the worst does actually happen. Because what I found, a battle cruiser. Now, if this is the battle I think it is, because I took several battles at the same time. That's like some really good ones, some really bad ones, in my opinion. But yeah, there's the battle cruiser. Look what I found. Check to see if everything's loaded. Changing ammo types. Because honestly, battleships or battle cruisers, wherever you face, you do not want to be firing HE at them. Fires and such will not burn them down that quick. You can do module damage, that'll slow them down, that'll make them weaker. But AP is for pure damage. You really do want to be firing AP at these things. And I'm here trying to line up a shot, which is kind of annoying. Running away. Right, I fell now, and then I realised, hang on, he's getting hit by torpedoes. Well, that was a waste. They AP for nothing. So we've got a cruiser going around here. Hello, Mr. Cruiser. Looks like is that Phoenix? Let's see if any's actually here. I think we're about to lose our destroyer because there's torpedoes. There's Sophia's, so it's got to be a Japanese cruiser. Yeah, I'm still learning to identify without pressing Alt, which isn't doing me too well, obviously. Good news is I'm getting better. It's just taking a while. You have torpedoes. I wanted to dodge them earlier. If you can, stick with your fleet. Be the ones that are hidden. Generally speaking, you do want to be the one leading it, but because you get found, you're harder to find. But you point out targets for your allies. If you can get in a section where you've got lots of allies to back you up, do that. And that battle cruise is beating. So I'm just on the ground. It's kind of the rule of thumb. If I'm shooting at a target, I am never going to hit it. See what I mean? 2 shots and only 1 hit. Now here's the point where I think I make a mistake. He goes into smoke and I'm like, well, he said I can't see him anymore. Because I hate going in smoke against destroyers. It never works for me. I have had too many games where I'm finding enemies that are in smoke and I get hit by a massive torpedo barrage. They're probably looking at it right now and thinking, well, the scores are currently 4-2. How can this go wrong? Yeah, look at that base. We're about to lose. Painfully. And I'm not even realising it yet. I'm scanning around trying to take out this carrier. And I think everyone over here is doing the same thing. They're trying to get there to start the cap, try to get the carrier. Ooh, that's some good hits. 2 of the Citadel. So I can damage carriers. I can hit a Citadel and do tons of damage to them. I just can't hit the small stuff. Logic. I think I was trying to take out the flight deck. There we go. Someone did it for me. So if you set fire to the flight deck of a carrier, they can't send out any more planes, and they can't land. So it's kind of really helpful. Oh god, that was a big hit. Wow. And I don't know what the health of this guy's on. I'm just taking shots. There we go. Langley class. Yeah, it's one of the first carriers. The thing is, I really hate going against carriers. And yeah, then I realise, hang on, our base is falling. Yep, and I realised too late to do anything. There's also this friendly cruiser who's blocked me in. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I barely missed him. Then I took one step too far. So yeah, after all that work, and that cruiser's still alive. Carrier, sorry, cruiser. Scrambling back. I'm probably gonna get at most 1 shot of this. And if I'm that lucky, I'll get 1 shot at it, but it's way too late. There's too many targets in there, they all count. So I am no way going to make it back in time. And this is GG. This was really the only other good game I got. And then it's a co-op game. This shows you how bad I am with this ship. And it's not the ship's fault, it's a really good ship. But I just sucked in it. I've had game after game where it's gone wrong. So, yeah, sorry folks. But yeah, this is a domination game on New Dawn. Again, this is actually turned into my favourite map. It's an amazing map. We're going to see AI, and the Congo class battlecruiser is what's covering our battlecruiser. Our ship slot rather. So this is probably going to be the best one you get of how this thing is meant to work, and it does end in a victory. That's a good sign. It also ends on a weird turn, which is kind of weird, but you'll see when we get there. But yeah, loaded. That's a good sign. So, like I said before, the Russians are kind of the balance between the Japanese and the Americans. They have kind of mid-range torpedoes and mid-range guns, along with mid-range concealment, if that's the right word to use. I myself don't love them. I mean, again, they've taken the slot of my beloved British Empire, and that's, you know, me and the British Navy. I'm a Brit, what do you expect? Yeah, Russia's not a naval power. Don't know how many times I've got to say it, but it's not a naval power. Oh Christ, there's the battlecruiser. And he's got a friend! Woo! Boy, let's can't go wrong. So I thought, yeah, let's say some shots, can't go wrong, can it? Yeah, it's not got range. Well, you can see where this is going, can't you? Oh dear! Yeah, and foolish me, taking another shot. And I'm not even aiming right, so that's not a good sign. I do eventually get a hit on this guy, this feels like forever. That one's going to hit into... Yeah. It's not hard to dodge when the guns aren't that accurate, but then, like we said for a lot of things, why am I picking a fight with the Congo? Blade, what are you doing? Stop! Keep yourself hidden! Blade, you have torpedoes! Damn it! Oh dear. Oh, that actually did a lot more damage than I expected it to. I mean, did 3,000 damage with that volley of AP. I don't like the rule of thumb is generally if you're facing a battleship you want AP, everything else you want HE. But then you do get moments like that where it just does a lot more damage, and these shots are narrowly missing. I'm hoping to take A, but then again, looking at how it's going. People seem to really love fighting over sea in this map, like the sea region. That's how that sounds. The Congo's on fire. Wow, that's actually quite a lot of damage for two shots.
Enemy heavily
and
damaged.
that's, I think, is
Our team has taken the lead.
Did we kill that cruiser? No, he's barely. I'm surprised he's actually still alive, to be honest. And yes, I haven't noticed I'm put in detection range. Should be getting out of that range, getting out of that smoke. But whatevs, we live. It's a mistake that we lived through, so let's learn from that. I have to see this cruiser over there. Let's take a few shots. Of course, don't forget the golden rule. I'm a destroyer. He's a cruiser. Oh dear.
Ow! Enemy cruiser.
Repair team on that. And probe smoke. A bit late for that, but still. Oh dear. No, the problem isn't solved. The cruiser is still there. I caught sight of the carrier, apparently. Now, I don't expect these torpedoes to hit, but at the very least, it's AI. It might run into them. And if not, it will cause them to do some basic maneuvers. I'm actually getting some really good hits over here. And one of my guns break. Typical. We could really use that gun. I probably need AP against this guy, to be honest. Or am I using AP? I'm using AP. Looks like he dodged them all. Yeah, he dodged them. Well, it's the fault that counts. I should really be stopping my fire. Yeah, the thing is, now I'm watching these, I can watch back and see where I made mistakes. And I'm looking, and there's like mistakes everywhere, because like destroyers, you're not meant to take fights like this. You're meant to just use your torpedoes and get out of there. Assist. Be the scout, not the fighter. You're a light tank in the tank's terms, not a battle tank. Medium tanks you can afford to take risks at times. Heavy tanks you can take minor risks. Wow, there's a lot of damage. Heavy tanks you play to your armour. Light tanks you play to your speed. Well, I'm essentially a light tank. I should know how to play this! The bloody British doctrine is speed is armour! Sorry, the British Doctor in World War II is speed as armour, so I'll put some more in. The thing is, the AI isn't the smartest in the world. And, you know, I have a long fight against this. It looks like St. Louis. Or St. Louis or whatever. So I'm hoping he'll be dumb enough to walk into my torpedoes. Sorry, sail into my torpedoes. Oh wow, got your rudder. Yeah, that's the fun part, just watch. My little fishies. Another collide. Yep. Not a single torpedo hit. Oh, it gets better, don't worry. We've already got a kill, but that's not the best part. The best part is you have to kill. It's probably to show my incompetence at the game right now, to be honest. So I thought, you know, just two single shots more accurate. There's an island there, Blade! Island there, hello. Pay attention. You live on one. Yeah. Okay. So, apparently this ruined a World of Tanks game. I'm really gonna feel sorry about that. But dude, the scale of this game, I love this game. Just the sheer scale of the ships. They wargaming out themselves. I can't say enough. Now, remember those torpedoes. Just keep your ear out, because this is the fun part. So I sail around. This shows you how bad they are with torpedoes. I can use them with the Kirk Army, but then that's the Kirk Army. So I sail around here thinking, okay, I'll just ignore those torpedoes. I've done my job. I've got a distraction up. Oh look, there's the.
Our victory is
it
in
might
sight.
be a Phoenix actually. I forget. It might be an Omaha. I need to start taking notes on like what I see in the game. But yeah, I'm just I'll engage this cruiser. Okay. Okay, what's the worst I go? Doing well. It's about, I think, now or so that I realise.
We've blown up an allied destroyer.
Remember those torpedoes? Yeah, it turns out that someone went after the destroyer I had fired at. Not that I can blame them, but you know, it would be nice if they give us something. Like, you know, you can see torpedoes in the water. It's my fault. The thing is, normally when I fire torpedoes, I get warning when they're fish in the water or something. And this is probably the one time I didn't. Which, yeah. You don't have to call them all out, but then you do expect your team to be able to do so, yeah, at times. I think this guy gets 5 kills this game. That's actually all I got done this game, because we're about to finish. The cruiser is, I think, about to die, or we're about to go. I think about to point out. Yeah, we're about to come out. So, see you back at portside, folks. So, I hope from this you've seen what the Gremyashi can do. I'm not the best at sailing this thing. I'm still learning the game myself. But this is a very, very good destroyer. I just can't play it right to save my life. Every situation I've found myself in has always turned against me. But I can safely say this is a very good ship. Is it for me? No. Is it for you? Maybe. Do you like playing to sort of an all-round style, as opposed to being dedicated torpedoes or dedicated guns? If you do, this is the ship for you out of the pre-orders. If you want to go with a certain style, I suggest going with the Japanese destroyers or the American, anything really, the American destroyers. The American destroyers have mobility and they have the guns. Japanese destroyers have mobility and have the torpedoes. Otherwise, if you're just looking for guns, I do suggest you get the battle cruisers. It's simple as. But anyway, folks, this has been a look at the Gremyashi. I've been the Blade of Chaos, and this has been World of Warships. Until next time, folks, smooth sailing in those seas. I'll catch you next time.